Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Music of the Week. Only 5 albums to go through, and I'll get through why later. But yeah, 5 albums to go through, so let's go through them. So we begin with Iron Lung and their new album Adapting Slash Crawling. This is a bit of power violence, not a genre I visit regularly. This is this band's first album in quite a while from what I know. And I'm giving this one, what was the grade I gave it? B. Yeah, I'm giving it a B. This is all staying. Fuck it. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I liked the instrumentation. It's super heavy. It hits really hard. The band members put in some really good work too. Yeah, like guitarist John Cortland and drummer Jensen Ward. They're both really good. I think Jensen does the vocals mostly, but I think they both sing. I'm not fully sure. I couldn't really find much info on that. But there's really good stuff there. I like the themes of, depressing stuff of like grief and loss and so on, and the feeling of like being hopeless in the modern day. My favourite. I will admit I like the production more than I thought I would. It was actually surprisingly clean for an album I wasn't expecting to sound this clean. I think it's because a little bit of the pacing is weird. There's a lot of really short songs. On here there's 18 songs and it clocks in at just under 20 minutes 50 seconds. Yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of how that was handled. But for power violence, for a genre I don't check out a lot, and for a band that does it quite well, for as long as they've been going, even though this was my first album by them, I thought it was pretty solid. So now I'm going to get into the album I was going to cover, which is Mayday Parade's Sweet. And I did listen to it, but I didn't cover it because I found out that it's the first part of a trilogy of albums, and even though I asked around if I should have reviewed it or if I should wait around for the other parts. A lot of people said to review them as they drop, but then I remembered this is my show, so I'm going to review them all when all 3 albums are out. So I haven't covered that, so we're just going to move on now. But yeah, that's the album I'm not covering this week, and I've given my fair reason why. Next we have Pigs with their new album Death Hilarious. Thankfully these guys are also known as Pigs X7, so that saves me a little bit of time. Yeah, this is their 5th album. This is a band from Newcastle upon Tyne, and I'm giving this one a B+. I thought it was some really good stoner metal shit. I do like the sort of themes of the harshness of reality, and it's, quite nicely grim with some good political stuff. Don't mind that at all. I like the production. It captures the feel quite well, I think. Adds a lot of really nice organic bits to the sound and to the mix as it goes along. I do think the pacing is probably my least favourite thing about the album, though. I do like the experimentation with the overall riff work. That's not bad. I do have a problem with the fact that a lot of the songs overstay their welcome, and it feels so padded. It's a 9-song album at 45, just over 45 and a half minutes, but a couple of songs really should have been cut for time, and it's quite obvious, especially in the middle of the album. Like, oh yeah, it feels, it feels like there's a bit too much wankery at times. But it's fairly fun wankery. I don't know any bad wankery. I don't know what that was. Yeah, really good performances from the band though. Lead guitarist Adam Sykes, I think, steals the show for me. His guitar work is really good. Instrumentation overall is probably my favourite thing about the album though. I love how heavy the riffs feel. Really good guitar work especially. Overall really solid, and I'll shout out the song Glib Tongues because it features LP from Run the Jewels, and LP is pretty great and his performance on the song is really fun, so thought I'd bring that up. Next we have a band named Scrounge with what I think is their 2nd album, titled Almost Like You Could. And I say think because some sources have said this is their debut, but they also did release another album back in 2022, which isn't listed as an EP. It's only got 8 songs on it. This one has 2 more. Give this one an A- though. I thought this was really good for like an early going for these guys. I wish I knew more about the producer because all I could find is that it's a person named Dom, which to my knowledge is not a band member because the band members are Lucy Alexander and Luke something. I don't remember his name, and I don't have it written down, I don't think. No, but Lucy Alexander is the one that steals the show. I like the instrumentation. It's really fucking good, actually. Really nice riffs. I love the crunch of the guitar and how hard the drums hit as well. Really good stuff there. I like how versatile it can feel too. I do want to get the pacing out of the way now as well. It's probably my least favourite thing about the album for a few reasons. First of all, not a lot of the songs, flow quite well into each other. Secondly, this is a very minor complaint, but the first 9 songs are sung by Lucy, and the last song is sung by Luke, and it feels like a really weird change, because I was like, yeah, Luke can sing, but why weren't they both singing? throughout the entire album? Why wasn't there more chemistry between them? Why was it just Lucy for like 90% of the album? Very odd to me. But you know, instrumentation is really good. I like the shoegazy feel of a lot of the post-punky stuff here because it is a post-punk album. Thought I'd mention that while I remembered, and I've got it written. Yeah, the band are really good. I like the lyrical themes of inequality and self-empowerment. It's hard to find a lot of reading on that, but they're really nicely penned themes. And I like the production. It's quite nicely put together, and there's some really good attention paid to the sound. And the overall mix is just nicely solid and good. And yeah, it's got its stumbles, but they're not major deal breakers, and I still consider this a sort of a sleeper for the year. Next, we have Superheaven with their album, Superheaven. This is a good bit of alt rock, grunge stuff, and I'm giving this one an A+. I really like this one more than I thought I would. This is this band's first album in 10 years, and it's weird to think that they haven't been around that long. They've been around technically since 2008, broke up in 2016, reformed in 2019. And this is their first album in 10 years, so since 2015. Weird that this is a band that doesn't even have 20 years to their name, technically speaking, and they've already had a split. I find that very odd. But I cannot think of a single complaint I have against this album. Like, the instrumentation is so gorgeous and so richly put together. There's a lot of really good heft to the riffs, especially on the song Long Gone. Holy hell, that's got to be one of the heaviest grunge riffs I've ever listened to. But it's all like really nice and melodic. There's some good bass grooves as well and solid drum work, but I think the bass is the most important part, and I love how much attention it gets on this album. I like the lyrical themes of their themes of self-isolation and the passing of time, as well as one of my favourite things that a band usually doesn't do when they reform to put out an album, a self-examining and self-search of if they should even be doing it. And considering that this band reformed in 2019, a year before the pandemic, that adds a lot of context to it, which I actually really enjoy. I like the sort of hindsight that they look into, because they do that. The band themselves are fucking brilliant as well. Cannot think of a single stand-up member. Just, I love the sense of camaraderie and teamwork. They all work really well together. Pacing's wonderful. A great mix of styles too. I like obviously the alt rock grunge stuff, but there's good shoegaze bits, good alt metal bits as well, even some good bits of punk rock here and there. Love how it's thrown in. I like the production all in all. It's got some really good texturing, especially on the instrumentation, but the vocals do not feel buried at all. It's just a really well balanced mix and a really fucking good bit of grunge. So yeah, solid recommend for a band that hasn't been around for super long and for their first album in a decade. Really good shit. Next up, and finally, we have the obligatory debut, and in its actual debut, I did look into it. We have Teen Mortgage with their first album, Devil Ultrasonic Dream. This is a sort of garage punk act from Washington, and I'm giving this one an A. I thought this was one hell of a debut. I do want to get my least favorite thing about the album out of the way first, which is the production. It's not bad, and it fits the style quite well, but the album was released on Roadrunner, and it was self-produced by the band alongside someone named Kenny Eaton, but it was released on Roadrunner. Roadrunner usually doesn't mess around this much, and I'm not sure why it doesn't sound more polished than it does. It feels like very in-house in terms of its recording. I think that might have been intentional. I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about it. But I like the instrumentation, really good punchy punky stuff. I like the grunge elements, I like the alto elements as well. Even some slight posty bits here and there, but it is mostly a punk rock album through and through. Guitar is really nice as well. The band is really great too. Guitarist, vocalist James Garland, drummer Edward Barakauskas. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Both show up to work here, both have really good chemistry and bounce off each other quite well. I like the lyrical themes, about the positive stuff of society's downfall and going against fascism. Nice political lean, all really well done. Pacing is really good, so I like how many things I throw at the wall. Maybe a couple of songs feel a tad short, but I don't really mind. I think they're handled quite well, and it's got some really good messing with formula, especially with the other things that they throw in. So yeah, really fucking good first go, and a hell of an album title as well. I really like it. Next, I'm going to go through favourite album cover and favourite song. I will say favourite cover goes to Pigs X7 with Death Hilarious. I really like how arty it looks. It looks like a tattoo I'd get if I ever got any tattoos. But it just looks really good, and I like the absence of a band's name or album title. It really helps. Favourite song? It's a close one between Buzzcut from Almost Like You Could by Scrounge and The Curtain from Superheaven self-titled. I will give it to Superheaven self-titled, but I will shout out Buzzcut from Scrounge from Almost Like You Could as well. Both are really good songs, but I'm just edging out slightly in favour of Super Heavens 1. And next for this weekend's listening list, depending on if anything changes, which it might, I don't know, we have Kogus with Among the Dead Here to Become a Ghost, Eyes with Spinner, Fly Anakin with The Forever Dream, Ghost with Skeletor, Heart Attack Man with Joyride the Pale Horse, and James and the Cold Gun with Face in the Mirror. But yeah, that'll be fun, and as always with the albums I covered this week, let me know what you thought of them, if you listened to any of them. That'll be it from me. I'll see you all tomorrow for more PBW vs AVW, and over the weekend for some Yakuza Like a Dragon Inc. So, yeah, see you for those. As always, thank you for watching, you're awesome. Bye-bye.